Simon Told Helen wins a half length. Zach Manelli second.
Welcome to Greyhound Gossip.
Peaky Blinders start cheering for Tommy Shelby wins the WA Sprint Championship final.
Featuring Peter O'Neill and Leia Ernest.
Mozza moves up to Mermaid Manelli. Fab's Gem 3 deep. Here comes Fab's Gem.
Hard Style Rico by 5 lengths to Simon Told Helen. Third Tommy Shelby.
This segment is dedicated to the discussion and promotion of greyhound racing.
Cindy's Oliver, Rockstar Patriot, Paul Stewart, back-to-back with Rockstar Patriot in the Galaxy.
Handsome Prince, a boulder clear. The former Tasmanian Handsome Prince has won the $1 million chase.
And a very good morning, everyone. Welcome along to Greyhound Gossip on this Monday morning. Looking forward to a big week of greyhound racing ahead of us. We started off on Friday night down at Mandurah with the heats of the Nambilup Cup, and we had 3 of those. And the results went the way of Bezecchi for Paul Stewart, defeating Sunset Pepe in the opening heat. And then we saw Paul have little luck with Arbolino when Sunset Callisto defeated West on Miley for David Hobby in the second of the heats. And Disco Daisy won the third of the heats for Enzo Credelli, defeating Shy Emoji, the final this Friday night. On Saturday night at Mandurah once again, we had the final of the Winter Cup, and Sunset Hornet showed speed, got across from the wide draw and was able to defeat the rivals by just over 2 lengths. So Sunset Hornet defeating West on Booney, and Barbecue Man didn't have a lot of luck. So David Hobby winning another of the Winter Cups. He won it a number of years ago with Freedom Manelli back in 2018. Let's head across to, we're in WA still. I think Steve's back with us. Steve Withers is about to join us as special guest on Greyhound Gossip this morning, but he's been across in Queensland and had that great success last Thursday night with Uncle Tommy in the Flying Amy. And Steve joins us on Greyhound Gossip. Steve, good morning.
Hey, morning, Pete. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. What a ride you're having at the moment. Uncle Tommy taking out the Perth Cup earlier in the year, and while he hadn't won since, he'd been knocking on the door, and he was successful again there on Thursday night.
Yeah, look, it's really hard to acknowledge, I suppose. It's more luck than you could ever dream of.
What was the plans after his Perth Cup to take him across to Queensland? The fact that you'd had success there before, or why did you decide to go across?
We really didn't plan to go across there, to be honest. It was a very late decision, probably only 10, 14 days before the heats we decided to go. He was one of the older dogs in the series, and Cannington Closing probably put a bit of a twist on us. He trialled really nice in between the Perth Cup and the Derby, and was racing well, so you sort of were limited on options. And the thought that young dogs travelling, they usually mature and improve, and the Triple A might have helped us into the second half of his career.
It was a remarkable run. He showed the early speed to be able to kick up on the inside. He used box number 2 to perfection, didn't he?
Well, the box was very, very crucial to his chances. It was a high-quality series, and the heats probably played their part and knocked a fair few of the really, really heavy hitters out of the series. And the box draw probably gave him a little 1% chance that if he jumped to his best, he might be able to hold up the inside and run into a podium somewhere.
Were you happy when you saw down the back straight, you saw David Hobby's Sunset Frazier sitting on your rear end?
Oh, look, I don't think you're ever happy when you see Sunset Frazier in a race. You just know how talented he is, and he's a really fast dog. And even mid-race, he's got the speed and the power to get up inside of you and pressure you. So we still had the whip out at that point and was pushing him along, hoping we could hold him up through the corner, yeah. Did
you leave him across in Queensland, or have you brought him back home?
No, I brought him back home. They've got a couple of weeks up there. They've got an Origin series that you're ineligible for, and then a week of one-off best 8 features and that sort of is a bit of nowhere. And it's a long time away from home by the time you go up there and trial. And there's a fair bit of work back here at home that's got to be done as well every day. So we came back home, and we'll have a bit of a break here, and we'll work out what we do next.
So there is some big races still up there in Queensland. Are there thoughts to go back there for the remainder of their carnival?
Look, the Brisbane Cup's the one. If you were going to go back there for something, obviously it's a hard pill sort of to swallow, because you're not the fastest dog, and there's going to be some brutal open-class animals go up there that are just faster than you. But he's a race dog, and he thinks he's watching things well. And I suppose Mandurah doesn't really excite you that much as far as racing 500-metre dogs. So there is a thought that we could go back there, yeah.
Mm. You mentioned the fact that he's not the fastest, but he's a real good race dog, much the same as his father was. He wasn't the fastest dog, but gee whiz, he was a very, very clever dog on the racetrack.
Yeah, well, I guess that's the trait that he's inherited the most off his dad. His dad was certainly a fair few lengths faster than what Uncle Tommy is, but that probably made him the next level up. But yeah, Uncle Tommy definitely, he's a very hard chaser, and he thinks his way through things, and he finds his way through tight spots and gives himself those chances up at the front of fields. And yeah, he's a proper race dog, yeah.
So we're in the beginning of June, so not even halfway through the year. What a remarkable season it's been for Tommy Shelby so far. The Gold Bullion with Morton earlier in the year, and of course Uncle Tommy winning the Perth Cup and the Flying Amy. West Ombooney won the same night as the Perth Cup. He won the Galaxy, and Stormy Day took out the Harrison Dawson. So 5 Group 1s to Tommy Shelby. You would never have dreamed of that.
Yeah, never. For a whole career, you wouldn't have thought that he would achieve that at stud. And he's got that on the record at the start of his second crop racing, and obviously it just gets bigger and brighter from there. The third and the fourth crop are a lot bigger numbers and quality. And there's some internationals due to start and educate and go to the races as well.
I think it was the first couple of races on Saturday night, races 2 and 3. In fact, he sired the first 2. You just see his name everywhere at the moment. Do you know how many pups he's actually got on the ground?
I couldn't tell you that. No, I don't know exactly how many he's got on the ground. We do know the strike rate is really up there for stud dogs. As far as stud dogs goes, he'll never get the numbers of a Barcia or a Fernando. We're in a completely different industry and time now, but his strike rate for starters to winners is elite. It's the best in the country.
And up until the beginning of June, he was currently sitting, I think it was 3rd in Australia behind Fernando Barcia in the leading size, which is remarkable for a WA-based sire.
It's unbelievable. It's just hard to fathom.
Yep. We'll get him to clear his voice. But Tommy Shelby, in the first couple of months, well, last year I think his progeny won $1 million in stake money for the 12 months. That was his first season as a sire. And then in the first few months of 2024, he's gone well past $3 million now.
Outrageous. It's just outrageous, yeah. And you know that there's more to come. It's he's just such a hero to me.
Yeah.
I know everybody else may not feel the same way, but to me, he's a superstar.
Yeah. How was the partying after Thursday night? I hope that's not the cough that you brought back from Queensland, but how was the partying? Is it similar? Does it get any different from, when you first started winning Group 1s with Tommy Shelby?
I think it was much more exciting with Tommy. It was very new, and he was a rock star. Uncle Tommy's been a very lucky, overachieving sort of a type, and we may have grown up and matured a little bit on the journey as well.
Has it helped him in Queensland? I know you did put up a special on social media for his service fee for those in Queensland. The fact that he's winning these Group 1 races, like the Gold Bullion with Morton and then the Henry Dawson with Stormy Day, is it making his what's the word I'm looking for, his availability and also the favouritism from Eastern States breeders looking to get into the Tommy Shelby line?
Yeah, Eastern States has been very, very strong, and Queensland's one of the strongest. There's a few breeders up there that have done multiple litters, and he just knocks out winners up there endlessly at Albion Park.
I'll let you go, Steve. Sounds like you're struggling with your voice. So thanks for joining us and congratulations. It was a great win by Uncle Tommy. He's now a dual Group 1 winner himself in 2024 and the son of Tommy Shelby and the progeny of Tommy Shelby keep rolling on. Congratulations.
Yeah, appreciate it, Pete.
Good on you. So that's Steve Withers joining us online and, yes, a brilliant victory by Uncle Tommy, the son of Tommy Shelby West on Poppy, and taking his stake earnings now to in excess of $435,000 in stake money, defeating Lakeview Emily there on Thursday night at Albion Park. And, of course, as we heard from Steve, the carnival continues on, and we're about to be joined by John Brasch, and John's been calling all of the action for us. And all eyes will be on Queensland this Thursday night because John will be calling one of the big things that really lights up the East Coast, especially New South Wales and Queensland, and that is the State of Origin series. And John is about to join us online right now. John Brasch, good morning.
Peter, good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. I see you took some Queensland money last Thursday night.
Yeah, and you didn't mention it in the call.
We did certainly after it.
Yes, you did. You did, but...
We gave Tommy Tacker a run. We gave Tommy Shelby a run. We've said that the Perth people have had a great carnival here in Queensland over the last few years. So, Peter, you must have missed that. That was basically after the running of the race. We certainly gave Perth a very big mention in our after-race spiel.
It's been remarkable, isn't it, how well the WA dogs have gone up in Queensland. You talk of Tommy Shelby, Elite Machine, and then also Uncle Tommy there on Thursday night. Of course, Cody Charles had a greyhound who won the Oaks from memory last year. The name escapes me for the moment. But it's been remarkable, the run that WA has had in Queensland.
Yeah, certainly, as you say, like for the last few years. Since the inaugural carnival coming up a few years ago now with the extended prize money, we've certainly had greyhounds come from all over Australia, and certainly WA has featured very prominently.
We saw
that greyhound you were thinking of was Daddy's Girl that won the Bogey Lee Futurity last year.
Yeah, I should be remembering all those. But it was a remarkable race on Thursday night. Uncle Tommy, using box number 2 to perfection, was able to hunt up on the inside and was too good for the rivals, and it was a really classy field.
Yeah, well, the week before you had 6 heats of the Flying Amy, and 5 winners came from box number 1 and the other from box number 2. And Hoshino, who's owned by my brother David, in box number 1, he's got stayer written all over him. He's got no early speed over the 500. So basically, Uncle Tommy had box 1 to all himself.
Yeah, and he did use it. How has the carnival gone so far? And it's really starting to warm up now. As I mentioned, we're about to get into the State of Origin series. I spoke with Steve earlier in the week, and he said he's a Queensland supporter, but you wouldn't let his dog run for Queensland.
No, this one's basically Queensland versus New South Wales as the Rugby League State of Origin is. This has grown in stature. First run in 2018, and it took New South Wales a little time to get to the crux of the series, but now they send their best of the best, Peter, and this is going to be probably one of the best clashes you've seen. You've got in the sprint All Natural, Bears Bullet, Cluster Magistrate for Queensland. You've got Zipping Megatron, Overflow Bow, Midnight Spritz and Good Odds Cobber in their team. Then you've got the Origin Distance with the Queenslanders Fast Milkman, first picked Mystical Beck and Val Policella, coming up against Palawa King, Ritza Piper, Check the Radar and Phase Magic. And then, of course, you've got the Origin Match Race. And this is probably going to be the race of the night. J is J versus the Golden Easter Egg winner, McKenna.
Remarkable, isn't it, that those two will go head-to-head. What sort of crowd do you get on course, and what is the popularity of the State of Origin series?
Oh, it's being talked about for a long time here. This has been the race of the carnivals. Who we're going to put in the match race? Is JSJ going to be fit enough? Because we haven't seen him in a little while, and he has been trialling on race nights post to post, as we do allow here in Queensland. We've seen a lot of the interstate stars trial on race nights under trialling conditions, and they've been put up on videos on the Brisbane Greyhound Racing Club. So you get to see a lot of the interstate stars, what they run and how they can improve with the carnival going forward. And I think this is, as I said just before, this is probably one of the best Origin race series I think we've had since its inception in 2018.
Who would you be tipping at this stage between JSJ and the Origin match race against McKenna?
You know I'm biased, Peter.
I thought I'd put the question out there.
To win the match race.
Does Val Policella win the distance?
That's going to be the interesting one. A little disappointing last Thursday night, Val Policella. She began okay, but then dropped back to 4th as she copped an almighty check going out of the straight. And we had the line ready, Peter, for the $1 million earner, Val Policella, but that certainly at that stage went out the window. But given that she's got a week now to recover, I think she's going to be at full strength to take on the New South Wales star Palawa King, and I think it's going to be a match race between those two, Val Policella and Palawa King. And then, of course, in the Origin Distance, you've got JSJ's brother, All Natural, JSJ's brother, Cluster. You've got Bears Bullet. She can begin on her night. And, of course, the defending champion, Magistrate, won the Origin Sprint last year. coming up against Zipping Megatron. He was back to his brilliant best in running 29.7 at Albion Park the other night, but we know he does get back. Overflow Bow ran a good race in the Flying Amy. Good Odds Cobber, we haven't seen the best of him here yet. And the unknown Midnight Spritz for Michelle Sultana makes it an interesting lineup for the New South Wales team. So I'm going to go Queensland 2-1, I think.
It's almost a mortal sin.
I think they may be able to win the sprint, but I think we're going to win the distance and the match race.
It's almost a sin, isn't it? Tony Brett, legendary Queensland trainer, training a greyhound for New South Wales.
Yes, well, last year he did exactly the same, and I think he led out the New South Wales greyhound to win one of those races last year. But he was quickly back in the maroon in the race following, I think, and we credit him with that.
After the Origin,
but no, Tony only has to train greyhounds for around 3 months of the year these days, because he gets all these greyhounds to caretake for the carnival, and he really doesn't need to train any of his own, because he does such a great job looking after the greyhounds that are here from interstate.
Yeah, he's a legendary trainer, isn't he? After the Origin series, it really starts to warm up. The Brisbane Cup's only just around the corner, and of course, later this month you have the Lightning, the Thunder and the Tempest, which is very, very popular over the sprinting journeys.
Yeah, next Thursday night after the Origin on the 20th, we'll have the Superstayers Invitational, and that's a 4-dog 710-metre race. So you might like to see you're likely to see the clash of Bell Policella and Palawa King again versus a couple of other greyhounds, and that is an invitational race selected by the club, but I think those two will be a definite. On that night, you'll have Brisbane Cup Preludes, you'll have the Chairman's Cup over the 710, the Tempest over 600, the Thunder over the 395, and the Lightning over the 331. So that's basically one of the only nights that the 5 racing distances at Albion Park are used. That will be Thursday week on the 20th of June. And then, as you say, Peter, it really hots up. The 27th of June, we'll have heats of the Group 1 Sky Racing Brisbane Cup and heats of the Queensland Cup over the 710 metres. And the finals will be on the first Thursday in July. Of course, the Brisbane Cup this year, overall again worth $1 million, $650,000, and the Queensland Cup is worth $225,000 with $150,000 going to winning connections. So Brisbane is the place to be over the next couple of weeks.
We've seen the stake money increases around the country, New South Wales and Victoria. How is Queensland greyhound racing going at the moment? Will there be some reductions in stake money with the reduction in turnover as we've seen across Australia?
Yeah, well, Peter, of course, it went through the roof during COVID because there wasn't a lot of for punters to do, so they had to bet on the racing, but it has evened out probably since in the last couple of years, and it probably has gone down turnover in most of the states, so it will be interesting come the latter part of the year to see after the end of the financial year how Queensland is tracking. So I won't say that there won't be decreases in prize money, but it's looking more likely that there may be a downturn in overall turnover come the end of the financial year.
And how's the new track facilities? Are they all progressing well?
Yes, as I understand, they're all tracking nicely. We're hopefully looking to have it completed by more likely the last part of the year, November, December. There'll be a lot of trialling going on before they actually have race meetings there, Peter. We'll probably run the Summer Carnival at Albion Park featuring the Gold Bullion and the like. Ipswich will probably have their Vince Curry series around January, and then we'll probably start to see meetings being transferred from Albion Park and Ipswich. It'll be a slow transition. There may be a couple of meetings taken from Ipswich and Albion Park to start with to the queue, and basically to work out how many staff they're going to need, what the makeup of it all is going to be, because Peter will be running up to 8 to 10 meetings a week at the new place, the queue, and there's going to be many more staff needed, and it's basically going to be open for business 18 hours a day. We'll be trialling in the morning, racing probably mid-morning, racing in the afternoon, racing at night, trialling at night as well on those days they don't race during the night. So it's going to be a hype of activity, the new track, the queue. So all that will be divulged later in the year, and I'm sure we'll be racing there possibly around March next year.
Looking forward to it. Are you going to South Australia this year for the Nationals?
I probably won't be able to get away this year, Pete.
Too busy?
Too busy.
All right. Good luck with your State of Origin series this week. Unfortunately, no WA stars in the series, although Tony Brett's training for New South Wales, so surely you can change the rules to let Uncle Tommy run. Hopefully he'll be back, and a few of our other dogs will be back up there for the remainder of the carnival, with the $1 Million Brisbane Cup coming up in a few weeks.
We look forward to hosting all the WA folk, and it's certainly a great carnival to come for, and the weather is absolutely beautiful here in Queensland, and I'm sure it will be for the rest of the carnival.
Are you calling at Albion Park today?
I am doing tonight.
Okay.
If you want a best bet, we will go race 11, number 7, Jameri, Indiana. Was scored there at the program there last week, and I think it could make it 2 on end for Mel Ross. So race 11, number 7, Jameri, Indiana is my best for Albion Park tonight.
Already with tab touch from $2.50 into $2.20. Good calling. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Pete.
John Brasch joining us, and yes, calling all of the action for the carnival, and it really heats up this week with the clash of New South Wales versus Queensland in the State of Origin, and then we get into the heats of the Brisbane Cup and $1 million final. Let's hope we see some more WA dogs head back up to Queensland to chase some of those riches, as Uncle Tommy did last week, and David Hobby, of course, with Sunset Frazier and a few of his greyhounds, and they finished first and third, so very, very well performed indeed. We'll take a break, and then after this, don't forget Greyhound Racing today at Northam. After this, we'll be back with Off and Pacing.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelpline.org.au.